Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thanks so much for watching today. Let's do makeup updates. I've got a lot of lip products and eye products in front of me. So I think what I'll start with is the stuff that takes up the most space. I made a huge purchase during the Christmas and July sale at Sydney Grace, and I picked up 3 of their new eyeshadow palettes. The one that I'm wearing today, and I'm wearing it for the first time and I really like it, is this one. This one right here is called Eastern Fall. I tended to stick in like these colors right here. I have a little bit of this, and I think, yeah, those are the 4 shades I have on my eyes today. I like that it doesn't pull too warm. There is warmth in here if you're looking for that. This pulls a little bit. These guys here pull just a hair warm, but it's not so warm that I feel like it's bright orange on my face, which is probably why I'll skip this shade here. But I've always liked the quality of Sydney Grace shadows. Let me give you a couple of swatches. There's really only 3 metallics in this. That means 6 of these pans are mattes, but this is what we're looking at. Like, the quality is so good, so good. It blends really easily. And this one here is in the light version. These palettes come in both a light and a deep. Most of the palettes on the Sydney Grace site do. So if you're looking at these going, oh, that really pale shade, those 2 pale shades are just a little too fair for me, guess what? They have different shades in the deep palette. I also happened to pick up the Northern Winter palette. This one's really pretty. It has some rosy tones in through here, and then it has some taupey shades and some deeper shades. I'm really excited to get into this one here. Look how pretty that one is. But even some of the rest of these shades, they really seem to be the sort that would pair beautifully together for a kind of plummy, rosy sort of look. But this one here, I think would be a perfect one and done. That's this one called Ice Caves. I really love the quality of these, and I feel like I'm going to get a lot of use out of this come this fall. The last 9-pan palette from Sydney Grace that I picked up that I've been using quite a bit is this one here. This one's called Southern Spring. It's beautiful. We have some more plummy tones in the middle, some of these murky greens on the bottom, and some really pretty neutrals right across the top. You could use them in trios like these 3, or these 3, or you could kind of pick and choose. I've gotten really beautiful looks from this. This is Sweet Magnolia, this is the Masters, and I think the one that I reach for the most is this one here called Cherry Blossoms. They're just beautiful. I really like the quality of the metallics and the pressed pigments from Sydney Grace. Super easy to wear, very, very little fallout, and they last all day without any sort of eyeshadow primer. The other reason that I really love and trust Sydney Grace is I'm turning 50 in January. Like, my birthday, it is a comin', and the texture of my eyelids is changing. But I noticed there are some brands that still look really pretty on the eyelids. This is one of them, which is why I always invest in Sydney Grace eyeshadow palettes when they're having their big sales at the holidays around Black Friday, as well as their Christmas in July sale. I did happen to pick up some singles. These are all the mattes that I picked up. I won't list all of their names, but you know, they really fit into what I normally wear, kind of desaturated, not too deep, not too pigmented. They definitely are on the cooler side, but they're kind of plugging holes in my current matte eyeshadow collection from Sydney Grace. I have a lot more warmer shades. And then I did pick up some metallics, and I really love these. There are 2 in here that are multi-chromes. They're just so pretty. Like, they shift gold, yellow, pink, purple, blue. You know, they're just so much fun. And I really feel like this is the one thing that I love about an indie brand, is that, you know, these shades, like this one even hits a little bit green down here. This purpley one goes greeny, and the other one is kind of like a peachy gold pink. They're just so stunning. I love these, and I like that they're not really deep. They're not like a jewel tone green or a deep burgundy. They're very light, very sheer, very easy for me to tap over an eye look and not have it look like it's too much. I did get a really deep purple multi-chrome called Beauregard for my youngest. Lily absolutely loves shifty shades and is always doing super creative eye looks. So I got that one. And then I picked up a couple of cream eyeshadows for my oldest. She likes kind of a little bit more simple, more neutral looking eyeshadows. I couldn't have kids who have two totally different makeup preferences, but they both look smashing in them. And they are learning to love and adore Sydney Grace the same way I do. I picked up a couple of eyeliners. I've been kind of like on an eyeliner hunt. I want like the best that there is. I want things that are amazing but also don't break the bank. And so I picked up these two when I was making a Yes Style purchase. These are both from the Korean brand called McQueen. And one is a liquid, one is a pencil. The pencil is really pretty because it's kind of like a bronzy brown shade. It's a little bit metallic. I'm wearing this in my upper waterline today. I have very little transfer to the lower waterline with this, so I like that. And then they have their tattoo liquid liner, and this actually comes with a brush tip. This is not quite as dark brown as some of the other browns that I have, but you know what? I struggle with this because it says it's waterproof, like it's literally called the waterproof tattoo eye pen. And I'm like, well, I don't know about that because I can get it on there, but it's one of those where it does kind of break up and flake just a smidge. I like the gel pencil. I'm not a fan of this. Will it work in a pinch? Yes. Does my leaky left eye ever eat through my wing? No. But sometimes if I tend to rub my eye at all, I will disturb the liner and I'll get like little, and I thought at first it was mascara, but it was brown. So it's actually this pen. Now, if you don't rub your eyes and you don't have problems, this may work really well for you, but I would recommend the gel pencil, but not the tattoo liquid liner. This is the Balm Essential from Chanel. I fell in love with one that I picked up. I picked up the sculpting shade, which is basically like a clear, balmy highlight. I love it so much. I love it so much. I had to get two new shades. This shade here, this kind of pinky shade, is called Dragé. And this is one that they regularly have. You see the glow on this? Oh, it's so pretty. They normally have this in their lineup. This is one that I wanted to get because it does have that subtle pinkiness to it, but you can also see how clear it is. And it gives this beautiful glow to the skin. My skin never looks dry. The older I get, the more I struggle with powder highlights. There are very few powder highlights that still look good on, you know, crow's feet and my skin that is a little bit drier than it used to be. I'm definitely noticing changes in my skin and how my highlight sits. So I noticed that liquids or creams do a lot better for me, and there are very few powder highlights that I still feel like that's worth it. So the ones that I've been loving are these ones from Chanel. The other shade I got is one that is, I think, part of their summer collection, and this one right here is called Moonlit Kiss. But you see how there's very little color to these? I mean, there's a very subtle pink to this, but this mostly is glow. Now, if you do not like a balm, you would not like these. But if you like that look of hydrated skin, my skin doesn't necessarily feel tacky, it feels hydrated. I find that because it never really sets, if I put my hand, like if I ever put my face in my hands, I will lose whatever my fingers touch, but I try just to make sure, you know, to keep it to the high points and to not really touch it. And I just really like these. They make my skin look healthier and a little bit younger because I don't look so dry. And that for me is worth the $48 price. They are very expensive, but now I have 3 of these, and these 2 new shades here in Dragé and Moonlit Kiss are beautiful. The last non-lip product I have for you is this right here. This is the Queen Musia 2053 mascara. I'm wearing this today. Queen Musia sent me 3 lipsticks, and then I featured them in a video, and then they sent me the other 3 lipsticks and their mascara, and that's their entire makeup line at the moment. They're really focusing on lips and on lashes, and I like this. This is actually really, I always love this more traditional shaped wand, one that's really big, one that's really bushy. I don't have particularly long and luscious and curly lashes. The one thing I notice is that when I curl my lashes and I put this in, it doesn't hold my curl. This is not a waterproof mascara. The one thing that I do like about it, no crumbling, no smudging, no problem at all. I can even wear it on my bottom lashes and I don't have any transfer underneath, despite the fact that I wear very hydrating concealers and under eye correctors and very lightly set with powder. This mascara actually does a really good job of staying where I put it without transferring or crumbling off. I wish it held a curl a little bit better. Now, if I were to go through and I wanted more volume, I could continue to layer on. It gives kind of a natural look at the very beginning, and you can kind of build it to kind of like a medium everyday look. If you keep going, I find that my lashes start to clump together. So if I want like a really gunky lash, I can get there, but it takes a lot of like apply, 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 apply. And there are other mascaras that'll get there faster if you're wanting a really dramatic look. If you're looking for something that's a little bit cleaner, something that's a little bit more everyday and looks like your natural lashes, but just a little bit more, I think you would like this. Okay, so I put it in with the lipsticks because it looked like one, but it's not. It's a blush. This is the Persona. This is their multi-stick blush in Georgia. This is a new shade for them. I've never tried this formula before, and this looked very kind of like neon peach to me. I was like, boy, that's a lot. But when you blend it out, it is so pretty, and it brings just the right amount of color to my face. I am wearing this today. It's definitely applied with a fairly light hand. I did not want to over blush, but I really have been liking this. This formula is so comfortable and it wears really, really well. I'll put my face on like at 8 or 9 in the morning, and then if we're doing something in the evening, we're going to a friend's house, people are coming over, I have to run a late night errand, and I'm like, oh, I look like I need a little bit more blush. This lasts, I would say, a good 8 to 9 hours. I can actually pick this up on a synthetic brush, you know, bounce it off on the back of my hand to make sure it's distributed through the bristles, and then just plop on a little bit more. And it builds beautifully over a set face, over an unset face, over anything else I already have down. On a completely bare face when I need color because I look like death on a cracker, I actually really like this formula. I would be so interested to try more of the shades, especially the bronzing and contour sticks. That might be my next purchase. Okay, now we're down to just lips. The one that I'm wearing today is a Lisa Eldridge lipstick, and you're probably going, I thought you had them all. I had almost all of them. Almost all of them. This is one that I picked up when it was on sale. This is the shade Velvet Decade. It's one that Lisa is discontinuing, but is this beautiful, deep, dark sepia shade. I tend to like it a little bit more when it's kind of, you know, softly applied like this. Today I have it on a little bit heavier because I really like the stark look of it. But just like the rest of Lisa's True Velvet lipsticks, it wears beautifully, it stays really well, it doesn't dry my lips out, and I do really like this color. And it seems, when I first saw it, when it first debuted several years ago, it was like, oh, that's too deep for me, I'm never gonna wear it. The truth is, I have really been loving brown lipstick recently, and I was like, why don't I get a brown that's my favorite? And I bought it just before I heard she was discontinuing it, so sadly you cannot get it anymore, but if you have it, you probably enjoy it as much as I do. I picked up a couple of K-Beauty lip products. One of them here is the Rom&and Juicy Lasting Tint. This one actually does tint your lips. It's nice because it's sheer. It's a little bit warmer than I was expecting. This one, by the way, is number 23 Nucadamia. I'm like, it's not macadamia, but it says nuke, like N-U-C. I'm like, okay, Nucadamia. It does leave a tint to it. If I were to wipe it off now, let me just wipe off the bottom half. You see that there is a little bit of a tint. The longer you leave it on, the more it tints your lips. So if you like something that is a little bit glossy but has a tint to it, so as it wears off, you still have color, you might really like these. I tend to prefer the Lasting Color Gloss from Rom&and. I really like this formula. This formula is so pretty. It's super glassy. It's super glossy. I mean, look at the glassy shine on that. This one right here is the number 06 Deepen More. And I also like the way that the angled applicator, it's like just big enough to go on the lips. And it picks up just the right amount. This one feels really comfortable, really plush on the lips. It tends to stay on me inside of my vermilion border, as does the lasting tint. This one does, this one does. Sometimes glosses will be like, oh, we're really emollient, and they'll just like go places. I don't find that this one does that. This is one that I carry in my pocket and I reapply very easily throughout the day with and without a mirror. I happened to get a sample of the NARS Power Matte High Pigment Lip Pencil. This one is in the shade Valkyrie. It's such a pretty shade, and I like the way it looks on the lips. But she's so drying. Oh my goodness. I remember years ago when they had like a satin version, they had a matte version. First they came out with a matte version. Then they came out with kind of like a glossy version of the lip pencil. And then they, I think the last formula to debut was their satin, and the satin was my favorite because it wasn't as dry as the mattes and it wasn't as glossy as the glossies. But now I think all they have are these power mattes. Now, is the formula really good? Yes. If you like a matte lip product that is not going to budge, you'd really like this. They have some really pretty colors. I like their Dragon Girl color. It's a beautiful bright red. I like this formula, but my lips don't like it. So if your lips are not as dry and as temperamental as mine, you might really like this. I just wish there were more colors. This shade right here in Valkyrie seems like the perfect kind of mauve nude for so many people, but there might be one that you like that's even better. But this is one of those that I'll probably pass on to one of my kids because their lips can handle a lot more than mine. I happened to pick up one of the Fenty Gloss Balm sticks. Okay, I really like this. The first one I picked up was the shade Blazed Donut. Now, I am not a concealer lips kind of person. I don't ever feel like I feel beautiful with really pale lips. So I tend to like color a little bit more. The formula was nice, but it was a very milky, very beige color. Now, if that's what you're loving, and I mean, because I'm sure concealer lips, they'd be coming back. That's a perfect, beautiful shade of lip product, but I like how glossy and creamy these are. This one right here is the shade Riri. I like that it is a berry tone, but it's not too deep. It's not too like currant shade, like a currant berry, not as in like modern of the moment. But I like how it is maybe more like fig-like, and it's not quite so plummy and jammy and deep and dark. This is one that my kids like so much, they keep stealing it from me, and I'm like, where is my Riri? I always tell my kids, there's so much makeup in this house, please don't buy any, just come borrow whatever you want. The only thing they buy for themselves, like mascara, because we can't share mascara, foundation, because my youngest has a different shade of foundation. My oldest and I, we can share foundations and concealers, and she's just always like robbing my stash. And I don't mind that because there's so much here. Like seriously, how else am I going to use it? So the three of us are heavily dipping into my giant collection, but when they don't bring it back, I'm like, you're welcome to take it out for the day as a lending library, but bring my lipsticks back. I really like this. It's very comfortable. I find that it wears well with and without a lip liner. On my youngest, who has a slightly deeper skin tone than me, it looks like her lips, but better. On me, it looks a little bit more, you know, like a berry pink, and it's more of a statement, but I really like this. It's pretty also when it's sheared out. I think this formula is just amazing. Now, if you don't want to pay the 20 some odd dollars for this, I feel like this formula, because it is made in Korea, is very similar to something that's less expensive. These Rom&and Lasting Melting Balms are very similar, and I think they run mid-teens. So if you want to spend $10 less, you might really appreciate this, and they're gonna have more shades than you're gonna find in the new launch from Fenty, because right now they have what, like 8 to 10 shades. There's definitely more than that in the Rom&and Lasting Melting Balms, but they feel very similar on the lips. They wear very similarly, and I think that if you like one, you'd probably like the other. Last lipsticks I have for you are these beauties from Queen Musia. These are the soft matte lipsticks in all 6 of the shades. These were sent to me as a gift from the brand, and there are some of these that I literally had to pull out of my purse. The minute something makes it into my purse, it's like I can't stop wearing it. Let me swatch these for you. Here are the shades. This one right here is Dorian. This is Molly Bloom. This is Madame Bovary. This is Montreux. This is Becky Sharp. and this one here is Ada. I know it looks like this one and this one are very similar. This one tends to look more, it's described as like a bright geranium shade, and this is more of like a terracotta. This Madame Bovary shade, although very pretty, I tend to mix with other shades because it is so light and it has a really white base to it. Molly Bloom is one that I'll pair with a darker lip liner. I love Dorian, I love Montreux, and I'm head over heels for Becky Sharp, but it is a cooler mauve shade and it looks so pretty on my lips, almost like nothing. I'm going to link below a short for you that I did swatching all of these on the lips if you're curious about these. These are in the mid-30 range. You can get these on either Queen Musia or I saw them on Nordstrom. I was like, oh, that's cool. They have the whole line, the mascara and these lipsticks at Nordstrom, but I really like the packaging. I feel like the packaging is super unique. I love the color. I love the shape. One of my kids told me it reminded them of like a meringue cookie. Normally they're like little star shaped. They look like little star shaped kisses. And it's like somebody, instead of keeping the piping bag down low and letting it spread out wide, it was like they just pulled it up really tall. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. So every time I see these, I think of like little meringue cookies. But I love the packaging. The packaging is so stunning. They also have a nice soft touch feel to them. The only thing that I'm so sad about is because I have 6 of these now, I would like to keep them, you know, like this, standing in a container like this, but because they have these pointy caps, that's kind of hard to do. So I do store them standing up, and then I have to look at the bottom. Okay, that's Madame Bovary. Okay, that's Molly Bloom. Oh, look, here's Montreux. I tend to do that. That's the only part that I'm like, oh, because the rest of my lipsticks are all bottom side up so that I can either see the sticker on the bottom that has the color of the lipstick or has the name so I can read the name and make sure I'm pulling the lipstick I'm looking for. And yes, I am one of those people that remembers the names of almost every single lipstick and what color is on the inside. I know that's kind of weird. It's just one of those things. It is that important to me. I should mention these are a very comfortable, soft matte. They're not drying. They actually feel hydrating and comfortable on the lips. They reapply over themselves really well. I find that they last through snacking and beverages, but they don't last through a full meal. Some lipsticks really have the power to hang tight no matter what, but these apply easily over the top of themselves. They're very comfortable on the lips, and my nearly 50-year-old lips don't complain with this sort of matte formula, unlike the one from NARS. So they're very, very different. This is more of like a gel pencil, and this is more of like a creamy matte. And I feel like they have some really fun and beautiful colors, but for me, it's Becky Sharp, Ada, Montreux, and Dorian that I reach for the most. Thank you so much for watching today. I would love to know, are you trying new things? Are there brands that are brand new to you that you're still like, whoa? Are there things that you like so much you picked up multiples? Because that would be that and Lisa Eldridge. And then a brand that you like and you're trying a new product for the first time. I've never tried one of the cream blush or contour sticks, but I love Persona. I like their eyeshadows and their eyeliners. I would love to know what is calling you, what really has been beckoning you, and are you ready for fall? Fall is coming. Just got the email last week that, of course, pumpkin spice is back, and I love how Starbucks is always like, it's pumpkin spice season. I'm not a pumpkin spice kind of gal, but I feel like, you know, this is very much a fall vibe sort of look, and I can't wait for fall. I'm so excited. So let me know what sorts of things you're playing with and if you're anxious for fall. Have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching. I'll make sure and link everything down below. Just keep in mind they're affiliate links. Up to you whether you use them or not. And if you do, it doesn't cost you anymore, but it does help to support my channel. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.